Now, the impact of the coronavirus has been far-reaching. So what kind of an impact is COVID-19 having on cybersecurity, an industry critical for Israel, both economically and, of course, for its intended defence purposes? So for more on that, I'm joined by cybersecurity expert Ram Levi. Ram, a pleasure to have you with us. Now, I know you were part of and held two online video conferences yesterday addressing just this topic. Why is that? What kind of an impact is the pandemic proving to have on the cybersecurity space?
Well, interestingly enough, what we saw is that hackers did not go into closure. And we actually saw in the beginning of COVID-19 a quite dramatic surge in the amount of attacks. 80% of cybersecurity attacks during the month of April and May were COVID-19 related, meaning scams, phishing attacks, and most importantly, we saw a lot of ransom attacks taking advantage of the fact that companies have moved from working on-premise to working from home. That opened them up and made them vulnerable to attacks, and cyber hackers took advantage of that.
And of course, you were one of many speakers yesterday. You yourself, though, are an expert in this space. What did you learn hearing from all the other speakers that was surprising to you?
Well, I've learned that even in Israel, privacy has become very important to us. What we saw in the beginning is that we thought in Israel that privacy is less important to Israelis than in Europe, for example. But actually, people are very worried about what the country knows about them, what the state is allowed and not allowed. Can they track us for the sake of national health? Are they allowed to know what they know? What companies should do with the information that they take from us? For example, now companies in Israel are required, and organizations are required to measure our health and to sign people that they're healthy and they're not sick. So that raises a lot of privacy concerns that Israelis are actually starting to worry about it. And that's quite new because until recently, we weren't really interested in privacy.
Certainly. And now we know that in recent times, as you pointed to, more businesses and, of course, government entities have been suffering from cyber attacks. But for business owners, how do you recommend responding to such cases?
Well, what we learned from yesterday is that the more you prepare, the less risk you have. So if I would give two recommendations, is one, prepare for the worst. Because hackers, they don't discriminate between businesses. They do what we call statistic attacks. They're scanning the internet, and if you have a door open, they'll just go in. And second thing, buy insurance. Cyber insurance is not like a regular insurance where the insurer is just paying you the money if something has happened. Let's say you had an accident or you have a property or theft. When it comes to cyber attacks, insurers give you actually a lot of value. They step in, they bring the professionals, they bring the experts who know how to negotiate, how to recover technically from attacks. They actually provide a lot of value that if you don't have that, you're going to have to cope with it by yourself, and it's going to be very, very, very expensive. So buy insurance and plan ahead, know what you're defending, and do the active defense.
Better to be safe than sorry. And you mentioned ransoms. What are the basic mistakes that are made while negotiating with attackers who are demanding ransoms?
Well, companies don't like to pay naturally. So when ransom is demanded, first, people who don't have experience in negotiation, what they do is they start teasing the hackers. They refuse to pay. They don't understand that the first thing that we do when we negotiate with hackers is we buy time. We want to understand who the hackers are, what the motivations are. We want to understand maybe we can mitigate the attack without paying. And then we want to find points of leverage. For example, we can conduct an investigation. At some point, if we can get to the hackers, we can tell them, look, if you don't back down, we're going to put the FBI behind you or the police. So if you don't understand that and you don't have the right people behind you doing the negotiation for you and buying time for the technical people, because technical forensic investigation takes time. It takes at least 72 hours to understand what's going on and to be able to recover. You can find yourself in a position where the hackers tell you know what, if you don't want to pay, I'm just going to delete your entire network. And it happens.
Right. And of course, we need to let our viewers know that you don't have to go it alone. There are, of course, experts that can help, that can be consultants around this, people that specialize in helping with such cases. So there are people that you can reach out to help. Ram Levi, thank you for that insight.
Thank you very much.